Why the Bridgerton cast needed an intimacy coordinator. What helped Phoebe Dynevor and Regé-Jean in creating their mesmerizing chemistry. And what were the hardest and the funniest scenes to shoot? Hi, I'm Joy. Let's get started. The Regency era boot camp. Soon after being cast in Bridgerton, its stars Regé-Jean and Phoebe Dynevor were invited to have a 6-week crash course on the Regency lifestyle. They immediately started learning everything that would have been important for the early 19th century upper class. Phoebe and Regé's timetable was packed with activities like horse riding, etiquette training, and dance rehearsals. Phoebe also took piano lessons while Regé had boxing training. It was very overwhelming, Dynevor recalls, but getting to immerse yourself completely in that world before we started shooting was such a luxury. Regency romance is all about charged encounters in crowded ballrooms, so the actress was very nervous because she had never been a particularly good dancer. But the amazing choreographer Jack Murphy not only taught the Bridgerton cast members how to dance for the time period, but tailored dance styles to each character. Not all of the dance elements were historically accurate, though. Moreover, the cast rehearsed to Stormzy, Beyoncé, and Rihanna to bring a modern energy to the routines. Phoebe said that the dance rehearsals really helped her and Regé find Simon and Daphne's mesmerizing chemistry. We just spent loads of time in the studio, and we just got time to play and sort of form a connection. But it wasn't just that. The cast of Bridgerton also worked with an intimacy coordinator. The steamy scenes were heavily choreographed. According to the showrunner Chris Van Dusen, all the sex scenes on the show were choreographed and rehearsed much like action sequences. Each movement was blocked out by intimacy coordinator Lizzie Talbot like they were intricate stunts. I feel really proud of those scenes, honestly, Phoebe Dynevor told E! News. We worked really hard at making them feel real. And Regé-Jean agrees that working on steamy scenes with a script, be that physical or verbal, helped the actors feel safe and secure in what they were doing and just perform at their best. Thanks to this preparation, the actors felt really comfortable while filming the intimate scenes. And it came into play on Phoebe's first day on set. Amazingly, the very first scene she and Paige shot together was that incredible heated scene in the library. If you're a fan of the show, you know exactly which scene we're talking about.
My first scene was a very explicit
scene,
and it was quite heated, to say the least.
I think Close Encounter.
Surprisingly, it was the same for Jonathan Bailey. His first day on set included Anthony and Sienna getting busy in the park against a tree. Jonathan joked that he got to know the makeup department intimately on day one because they had to de-shine his bottom.
When I learned British for the first time, they went, "Can we call in makeup?"
Well, we suppose that starting the shooting with such a scene allowed them to get all the first day jitters out of the way. Nicola Coughlan didn't read the Bridgerton books. Nicola was the first person to be cast in the show, and she was offered the job after just one audition. The actress confessed that when she auditioned for the role of Penelope, she had no idea her character was going to be revealed as Lady Whistledown. So after getting the job, Nicola read the Bridgerton books, specifically Book 4, which is primarily focused on Penelope. She was thrilled to know the details of her character's story, and although the show doesn't stick closely to the books, Nicola said knowing that she was Whistledown greatly influenced how she acted. It means that she's this crazy active listener all the time, she explained. She's the most low-status character in any room, but she's the most high-status as well. But what made her super excited about being a member of the Bridgerton cast is that the narration for the sharp-tongued Lady Whistledown was provided by none other than Julie Andrews. Nicola literally burst into tears when she got the news. However, she hasn't had an opportunity to meet the legendary actress in real life yet, as Julie's recording sessions were all done virtually. Originally, there was a plan for her to visit the set or join the press tour for season 1, but obviously that didn't happen because of the coronavirus pandemic. The level of detail in Bridgerton is insane. They say that at one point, there were more people working on the set of Bridgerton than it took to create Star Wars. Each episode of the period drama cost around £5 million to make. Just to name a few, the wallpaper cost around a few £1,000s a drop, and there were 30 giant bespoke rugs made for the show. The carpenters spent 4 months just making the fireplaces and windows, and of course it took a lot of time, skills and resources to create the thousands of dazzling costumes. There were over 7,500 pieces of wardrobe used in season 1, which were all made from scratch specifically for Bridgerton. It took nearly 9 months to create them. For Daphne alone, there were 104 pieces made, but her favourite is from episode 8 when Daphne is getting her portrait done. Costume designer Ellen Miroynik led a team of over 200 people, including pattern cutters, a corset maker, a tailoring department, an embellishing department, and embroiderers. Explaining the costumes, Ellen said that they were reimagining the classic Regency look. in an entirely new way. The eye-catching ensembles on the show are more luxurious and more sumptuous than they were in the 19th century, and they used modern color palettes, fabrics, and techniques. All of the corsets used on Bridgerton were made by iconic designer Mr. Pearl, who works with Madonna, Beyoncé, and the Kardashians. There are hidden details in the Queen's look. Queen Charlotte had a truly amazing wardrobe both in real life and in the Bridgerton series. Her collection of wigs was almost as prodigious as the sea of gossip she loved to wade in. Actually, she had a different wig and a different dress for every single scene she is in, so each look is different. And during the filming of the Ingenue Ball, actress Golda Rocheville had to wear 2 wigs to bring the Queen's look to life. "It takes about half an hour to get the costumes on, and it takes 2 people to put me in," she shared. "I'm even double corseted." There were a couple of times where she had to ask somebody to loosen her corset because she felt like she was going to faint. That's the reality of looking good in Regency times. Also, Golda had to ride to set in her own minibus, separately from the other cast members. Why? Because she needed a ceiling that was tall enough for her wigs, which often measured well over 2 feet in height. Nicola Coughlan also spent about 2 hours getting into Penelope's wig and getting ball ready before filming each scene. The actress is pretty short in real life, so originally she was supposed to wear heels so she would be eye level with her co-stars. But Nicola fell over several times while wearing them, and one time she tripped while holding a parasol and actually stabbed Claudia Jessie in the hand. So they had to get rid of the heels after the very first day of Nicola wearing them. And Jonathan Bailey also had to drop some details on his character's appearance. He was sure that Anthony should have a moustache and sideburns. The showrunner actually let him do it, but during the actual shoot, they took it off. The English weather is not a reliable thing. Incredibly, over 100 practical locations around the south and west of England were used during the filming of Bridgerton. "Even though we're creating a new world," explained production designer Will Hughes-Jones, "we are seated in history." The first ball hosted by Lady Danbury was filmed on location at the Bath Assembly Rooms, where actual Regency balls took place at the beginning of the 19th century. And the scene when Simon and Daphne kiss in the garden maze was filmed on location at Hartfield House. The crew searched for months for the perfect place for this moment. The episode where Simon explains to Queen Charlotte that he loves Daphne was filmed at Lancaster House in London. And guess what? The cast and crew had very limited time to shoot the scene, because none other than Queen Elizabeth II needed the space. There's also a cute behind-the-scenes story about the day when they were filming this fabulous Queen's garden party. There were stalls everywhere, cakes, decorations, and ladies in gorgeous frocks. It was summer, but right in the middle of shooting the scene, the wind began blowing, flattening the hedge. So the assistants had to covertly stick the roses back into the hedge before they were all blown away. The Bridgerton cast has got talent. Luke Thompson, who plays Benedict, is a Shakespearean actor at heart. He's a fencer, knows stage combat, and is high-skilled at the piano, has a tenor voice range, and can draw amazingly well. As a rap gift for season 1, he drew everyone's portraits. Phoebe Dynevor claims they deserve to be framed, and Regé-Jean proudly displays his portrait in his home. Their co-star Sabrina Bartlett was going to be a ballet dancer before turning to acting, but when she was cast as the audacious soprano Sienna Rosso, it turned out that she has a naturally gifted voice. Despite her seemingly natural talents, Sabrina revealed on Instagram that she actually had to learn to sing for the role. Far from perfect, but enjoyed the experience so much, no matter how many cats I set off or glasses that may have exploded, she joked of the process. She took lessons at the Royal Opera House, and we should say her voice is impressive. Horse scenes were actually the funniest. Surprisingly, the horses in the series were mostly pulling completely empty carriages down the streets of London and through the English countryside, and the carriage scenes with the cast were filmed on a soundstage. The actors would deliver the dialogue, while 3 members of the crew would shove the carriages forward to give the illusion that they were moving. Regé-Jean found it really hard to keep a straight face while filming these moments.
Green screen in the background is just like, okay, make the horses go faster, and then you hit 3 guys go, oh. And I guess they take that out in post-production.
And Jonathan Bailey claims that the funniest scenes to film were when Anthony and Daphne are riding horses together. The actor recalled that everything went fine, until they said action.
Action!
And the horses literally went backward. But we really committed, because it was really early days, so we were really looking, boring into each other's eyes, trying to get the words out.
Apparently, the horses weren't in the mood for filming. They started going backwards while Jonathan and Phoebe tried to deliver their lines, but eventually both actors were simply crying with laughter. So that's all for now. And if you still want more of Bridgerton, you can watch our video on the cast's real-life partners. And stay super awesome!